All right, so this is Amulet Titan, which we've played a good bit of in the past. Today, however, is our first time trying Karn, the Great Creator, in this archetype, and while I've been pretty adamant that this card seems kind of mediocre in Tron, I actually really like the idea of this card inside of Amulet Titan. Amulet Titan's deck that, if you've heard me talk about it before, often feels like it has a threat density problem in that, like, you have to have enough cards to, like, get all of your mana together and, like, find your right mix of stuff. And Karn the Great Creator is a threat that we can find with Ancient Stirrings, notably, that's also pretty reasonably castable when we're not quite at 6 mana, right? So, like, even if we have Karn and a Titan, we can cast this before we get to Titan mana, which is interesting. So yeah, let's dive on in and see how this feels. For those not familiar, because Karn the Great Creator has a one-sided Stony Silence effect stapled onto him as his static ability, in conjunction with this card, Mycosynth Lattice, Karn the Great Creator can lock people out of the game, your opponent out of the game, for being able to cast their spells. This makes everything in play artifacts, and then Karn says your opponent's artifacts can't be activated. So it, like, turns off their land, turns off any of their activated abilities on stuff that they have. Obviously, they can still attack with creatures, but you can keep their creatures in check. You can lock them out of doing anything else. Yeah, if you are already a Chewy customer, my link is only for new customers. Which Chewy's kind of like Red Bull or Nvidia. They're a bigger company from my understanding, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a number of people here that are already using them. But I heard nothing but good things. About their site and service from people that I talked to that used it, so felt pretty good to add them as a sponsor. Slacker, thank you for the 12 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. For people who aren't familiar with Modern, my opponent is playing Mill, which is essentially an unwinnable matchup for Amulet Titan, so I'm going to go ahead and just concede and move along to the next match. For newer Magic players who haven't seen Modern before, Modern's a format that has a lot of really polarizing matchups in it, and there's a lot of fringe decks that frequently have, like, really bad matchups against some decks, but then in comparison they have really good matchups against some other things. So, like, Mill overall isn't a particularly great archetype in Modern, but it does have some really slam dunk matchups like this against decks that are good in the format. Yeah, we often referred to my parents' house growing up as a zoo. Like, I think they have 5 cats and 2 dogs, and my mother gets most of her stuff on a reoccurring service from Chewy. Of course, Jack. Yeah, always the command. We are well organized. What makes the matchup so horrible? So they maybe Karn makes it slightly less bad, but basically because this is a toolbox deck that relies on having specific cards in its deck, the Mill deck just randomly takes various tools that you would be going to get to help you win the game and removes them. Plus, the Mill deck tends to play main deck Surgical Extraction as one of its ways to disrupt. So they'll, like, mill one of your Primeval Titans and then take all your Titans away. Yeah, I do, like 99.9% of my streaming from a Linux computer, Mr. Tasty. So both MTGO and Arena run pretty flawlessly through Wine. In fact, all of the bugs I've experienced with Arena under Wine are just actual Arena bugs. They're issues that also happen on Windows. I already have a couple of Keru lands here, so I don't really need one of those. So I'll take the Coalition Relic as an extra piece of ramp here. Gilt-Leaf Palace. Well, if they're playing my configuration of elves, this matchup is pretty good for the elf side on average, especially post-board if they have 3 to 4 Damping Spheres. Catch you when Standard starts, Tolaria. Happy Wednesday. And this is, you know, like I've talked about with this deck, a lot of your starts that don't involve an amulet, which is a lot of them. You don't always have amulet, even with copies of Ancient Strings in your deck, are frequently just very slow in this archetype. There's going to be a lot of distractions here. Maybe I should have waited a day to pull the glasses out since I'm also added Chewy as a sponsor today. Their start's very good. They have a good 3-drop here. We're probably just going to get run over. Yeah, wow, they don't have anything else to play out. Wow, that must mean their hand is full of collected companies, right? Which like also isn't good for me. Hopefully their hand is just a bunch of lands. Sounds good, Android. I do not have any pets in my current home, but I grew up with a variety of animals. Dogs, rats, hamsters, rabbits, chinchillas. My parents currently still have 5 cats and 2 dogs. And my mother had nothing but glowing things to say about Chewy. So when they approached about a sponsorship, I was like, yeah, sure, sounds good. Other people that I have met and bumped into since, and a couple of subs were like, yep, we use Chewy already and they're great. Hey, Cardinal. Well, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Oh, they could have shamans. That's true. If they're missing, they have black mana. Yeah, I had previously just been using a software blue light filter, and I'm interested to see what the I've turned my software blue light filter off to use these glasses. So we'll see if I know the software blue light filter helped, felt like it helped. So I'm interested to see how this compares. Yeah, a lot of sponsors I try firsthand, but other ones I just do research on, and if there's nothing but good things to say, I pick them up. So like Card Sphere, for instance, I don't really have paper Magic cards, and I picked them up because they're just like nothing but good things to say from people who had used them. Like we're just set on board, right? Like they have says 10, 13, yeah, just dead. Dismember sounds good. I think I want to board in all the engineered explosives because I think Karning for engineered explosives and activating it is probably incredibly slow in this matchup. Also, the Karns in general might just be coming out here, huh? Is that like my weak link? Because I don't really have meaningful things to go get with it. What do you think about like cut 2 relics and a Karn? This seems fine. I could cut a land too, though. Usually you cut a land if you have a utility land, doesn't matter. Like Bojuka Bog doesn't have text here. Yeah, I guess boarding in Ballista is like a card to draw is probably fine. Yeah, they're likely going to bring in Damping Sphere, so that means Reclamation Sage is probably worthwhile as well. Trim another card. I don't know. Against a lot of their draws, Baloth is like not going to be super meaningful. They're just going to go super wide around it. I'm going to bring in the explosives, the ballista, the dismembers, the Rec Sage, and then trim. Trim a couple of Karns, the Relic, the Pact, and the Bog. See how that goes. Hey, Keta, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. You think Queen's better than the 4th Titan? I don't know if I believe you. Morning, Jervis. Yeah, maybe Queen's better than Karn. I could buy that for $1. I do think Karn's not particularly good here. I don't know, Jarvis. I've like not been a huge fan of this archetype in general. It always feels kind of slow and clunky compared to like the other good linear decks in Modern. Like, I get that it's like a little bit interactive, but its linear draws are just happen so infrequently, and its non-linear draws just like really slow, and its interaction tends to be very slow as well. And then, like, you know, you have hands like this, right? Like, I don't think I can mulligan this in a million years, but like, this Ancient Stirrings just turns into a basic forest, and now like my hand just doesn't really do anything for a while. Happy Slice, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Like, and I'm saying that as someone who, like, loves toolbox decks, right? So, like... Chewy! Your username lines up exactly with the new sponsor. Thanks for the 6 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm like, I'm hoping that 4-mana Karn helps solve some of that threat density problem, but what it really doesn't solve is it doesn't help solve, like, your issues with certain hands that are slower, right? Okay, J-Boss, I'm giving you a timeout. I'm sick of it. Sick of it. Get out of here. You've been subbed for 9 months. You should know better. Again, if you're gonna tell me I'm wrong, help me learn. Don't just be a dick and make me feel bad that I made a bad decision. Say, Jeff, I think this hand is a mulligan, and this is why. I think these are the reasons that your average 6 looks better. Help people learn. Don't just be rude and tell me I'm wrong. So, like, do I get Azusa here and, like, set up in case I draw a bomb? I think I get an Azusa here and set up in case I draw a bomb. I don't know. They cast Damping Sphere and I die now. Maybe I'm not supposed to pact there because they kept a slow hand, which is likely indicative of the fact they have a hate card like Damping Sphere. They also mulligan to 6 though, so like they could just you know, be on a slow hand. Basic Mountains, Jarvis. The red deck is just like the best deck in this format, and it's not close. Like people have been like people have known the red deck's the best deck for a while now, and it's still just like winning everything. Wait a month and play 2 Ophies. The new Stony Silence creature will be the perfect for that slot, Chewy. Do we have a full data set to make that conclusion, Jarvis? Do we know all of the starting lists for the competitors? Also, here's a fun fact. Here's a question. Were the players required to play their same deck list in day 2 that they played on day 1? I'm sure a lot of them did, but was that a requirement? I think it's probably a safe assumption to assume a lot of them did. Yeah, here's an article on Channel Fireball, which again, just like that's the issue with Magic data, right? Just like every time there's Magic data, it's just like, well, there's like, I can't draw strong, meaningful conclusions from this because of this laundry list of issues that like mean the data can't be like fully sanitized. But still just like mostly feelings. All right. So I conceded to Mill, and then we got promptly run over by Elves, which is mostly been my experience playing this matchup from the Elves side of the table. What data would WotC provide? All of it. Give me everything. Just actual every match played. Give it all. Ship it my way. Yep. You do not waterfalls, so the Chewy link is only for new customers. Although I am glad to hear that there are other subs that are already using it. So like again, like hands like this. Is this a keep? The hand potentially doesn't do anything. I'm pretty sure it's a keep, but again, like, there's a good chance this hand just never does anything. Am I supposed to keep this blue source to transmute this Tolaria West? I don't think so. I think I'm just supposed to bottom that looking for a Titan. And, like, even if this hand finds a Titan, it's incredibly slow. Yeah, definitely, Castu. The problem with, and eventually, like, hopefully we'll get deck trackers going eventually, but, like, part of the issue with deck trackers, too, is that, like, Magic has so many more variables than a game like Hearthstone in it, right? So, like, take, for example, what if, one of the things that the deck trackers in Hearthstone often do is matchup data, right? Which is really valuable to look at. So what if you have two people with the exact same main deck, but their sideboards are 6 cards different, right? So like now all of a sudden you can't even track meaningfully matchup win percentages the same between these decks because like 6 cards different in the sideboard can change matchups very drastically, right? Because like your deck is 10% different in the post-board games in some matchups. Maybe I'm supposed to keep. Maybe I'm supposed to keep the blue bounce land. You need a mid-range deck. I don't know that I really have a good recommendation for mid-range deck. I mean, it's probably the Command the Dreadhorde deck, right? Yeah, that's true too, Rebner. So, like, even if deck lists are exactly the same 75s, you still don't have players playing the same decks post-board because different players are going to sideboard differently. Well, I think they're functionally different decks, legit Reaper. I think saying this deck and Titan Shift are the same decks is like saying every deck with Ensnaring Bridge are the same deck, which is just, like, fundamentally incorrect. Just because cards are like every Faithless Looting deck is the same or every Ancient Stirrings deck is the same. Like, sure, they have the same like core engine piece, but the way they pay off with those cards is very, very different. Yeah, we got slaughtered by Elves. That matchup's not close. And by not close, I mean it's probably 60% in favor of Elves. All right, and like, all right, I got this, but like they just did this. So, like, I can go get a Titan, but then the Titan doesn't do anything, right? And, like, next turn, I guess I get to attack this so I can't get a Mycosynth Lattice next turn. I guess that's the line. Well, Engineered Explosives doesn't currently have text because there's a Karn the Great Creator in play. So getting Engineered Explosives is probably loose. All right, I think I can kill their Karn, right? Because I can go get a Titan, and the Titan. Oh, the Titan. No, I mean I'm getting a Titan. The Titan's just gonna get a Ghost Quarter. So I can get a Ghost Quarter, and I can attack this Karn for 2. So I've got that going for me. You keep the blue land because you have an Amulet, and you can play the Amulet and Tolaria West on turn 2, float blue mana, and pick it up and get Summoner's Pact for the thing. Sure. But, like, that's still very slow. Like, so, like, again, like, that's where the balance comes in. Like, so, like, what you're telling me is true. Like, I can go get the Titan with the line that you're describing, Conqueror, but, like, the line you're describing is not, like, a modern playable hand. Like, it's not a thing that wins you a game against the average modern draw out of a lot of other decks. So you're super right that, like, that's a line I could take, but, like, is that a game-winning line in a lot of situations? I don't think it is. Like, yeah, a lot of modern decks, like, kill you before you get the time to get that set up. But, like, maybe this deck's just slow and cumbersome and you're just supposed to do that most of the time. Like, is that the logic? So I think I do this, and this is going to go get Ghost Quarter, and I think I'm actually going to get a Tolaria West here. Because once I kill their Karn, I can have this. Once I kill their Karn, I can have this turn into another Titan, which gets Engineered Explosives to clear out this bridge. A back no. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate the support. Sure. So, like, so I talked about that. I could get Slayers Stronghold to, like, be able to push through damage and kill the Karn this turn, but then how am I actually winning the game in the long term after I do that, right? Like, how am I actually assembling cards that, like, ultimately kill them? Like, with this line, I got to Ghost Quarter them, and I have a setup to, like, go get another Titan to go get Engineered Explosives to clear this bridge out eventually. Yep. Never not Tron. Yeah, see, Slayer strongholding forever is just not... Oh. Oh. What? That's a dirt dinosaur. That's a dirt dinosaur. That is a main deck game 1 dirt dinosaur. Yep. Yes, this is game 1. Alright, so I have 1 mana. This is 6, and this is 2 more. So I have 9 mana technically. So I can technically go fetch a Titan and play it. But like that doesn't even really accomplish anything at this point, right? I guess it lets me kill the Karn guaranteed. The Titan can get Garrison plus Slayers Stronghold, and then the 2 plants attack the Karn, and I plus 1 that they don't block. I mean, is it great? I'm feeling pretty locked out at the moment. Well, I don't have a main deck way to kill Bridge while my engineered explosives are turned off. I don't have a Rex Sage in the main deck, no. Some of these lists do play Rex Sage main deck. This configuration that I've been sent in does not. Is the Abzan Bow deck my creation? Yeah, it was a build-around submission. There's a request for a green-black bow deck. With a potential 3rd color, should I want it. So we'll grab Summoner's Pact here. We're Summoner's Pact for a Titan. We'll cast the Titan. It will get... And again, just like, I'm kind of just treading water here. Because my opponent has 4 cards in their hand. So, like, I have to worry about, like, how do I actually win the game from here? And, like, I guess they can't really win the game through their bridge either. So, like, I've got that going for me, I suppose. So I'll attack Karn with both of these, and then, like, my hand's back to doing nothing at this point. Hey, Atrophy, thank you for the 12 months of support. I appreciate that. Let's get you a sword to go with your shield. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Alright, so step 1, kill their card. Maybe they have nothing for a little while. It is true that if we find our Karn, we're at a point in our mana where we can Karn plus Lattice in the same turn, which would lock them out. Alright, so I bog me... Yeah, it's kind of Stone Ranger. I don't know. I kind of want to be able to attack their Karn this turn, so I can't exile something. Maybe that's loose. It's like, stops them from killing something next turn. Like, buys me a turn off from getting Karned. I get the Gemstone Mine out of my hand, though, but... Made it to Plat 2 this month with all your help from YouTube content. I'm planning to go to SCG Pittsburgh at the end of the month and play standard side events with the Aristocrats. Awesome, Hute. Congrats on Plat. Get you those sweet alt arts. And thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate it. Opponent is thankfully just spinning their tires here. The downside to putting my bounce land into play, because I was out of land drops, board hound. Because I ended up putting my bounce land into play here, I'm actually 1 mana short of being able to Ancient Stirrings into Karn and Karn Lattice them. But if we just draw Karn for the turn, we can play Karn and lock them out. Oblivion Stone is lockout insurance, but it requires them to reset the board. I don't think we can win from here, right? I'm gonna move along to the next one. Yeah, Aaron. Yeah. It's a deck. I was like really high on this deck for a little bit, and then like the more I've played this deck, like the less interested in it I've become. Just like the more reps I've gotten in, like the worse it feels. Negates are fine here. Relics fine here. Bojuka Bog. I know it was kind of cute against the Tarmogoyf there, but I don't think that card's very good in this matchup, so trimming a land is fine. Maybe trimming Relics probably not unreasonable since they have 4 mana cards and that just turns this off. I think I'm supposed to leave Needle in the sideboard to fetch with this, chat. So, again, some of these artifacts that we want stay in the sideboard because this gets them out of the sideboard. Yeah, this deck really feels like it beats up on the fair decks, and like those decks have been like becoming an increasingly rare commodity in this format. I don't know. It's tough, Esper. Like, generally speaking, tier 2 graveyard strategies in Modern tend to be unplayable just because Dredge and things like Goryo's Vengeance that are such offensively powerful graveyard decks are so good that people tend to have a lot of graveyard hate in their sideboards already. So you get, like, splash hate from the decks that are good. I mean, like, if you look at that last game that we played, hey, look, there's a thing. If you look at that last game that I played, like, Karn Lattice has nothing to do with it. In fact, if you listen to what we were talking about, the fact that I had Karn in my deck with Lattice in my sideboard was the only reason I had outs that game. If you go back and watch like what actually happened. Also, this card just like incidentally locked. God bless America, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Hornet Queen for attacking under bridges. Nah, that's too slow. That's too slow and awkward. Would rather just like go get Rex Sage and kill it. One thing that is kind of sweet that this deck is not doing, I do think liquid metal coating in your Karn package is really sweet. So liquid metal coating lets you plus Karn to destroy lands, which is awesome. Because you can liquid metal coating, make their land an artifact, and then plus Karn to kill it because it's a 0-cost artifact. Like, if I had a liquid metal coating in my sideboard, I probably couldn't lose this game from here, right? Because I would Stone Rain them every turn for the rest of the game. I'm like, in a pretty good spot regardless. Because they have a bunch of eggs here, but... Oh, that's true. That's true. I can go get, yeah, maybe I should have just done that last turn. I can go get Crucible. Hey, Curtis, thank you for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Titan's win cons are Primeval Titan, the card the deck's named after. Oh. Oh, that's awkward. Yikes. And now, like, they go get in Staring Bridge and I'm locked out again. And, like, all their artifacts are turned on. Oh, they're getting a Crucible of their own. And they have a map. And I don't have an amulet, so, like, my Primeval Titan doesn't really do anything. Even if I find an amulet here, which I didn't, yeah, I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna play one more match, but I don't know that I'm gonna accept this deck as a donation anymore. The last few times we played it, just every iteration has just felt really rancid. Malaris coming in hot with the big pile of subgifties. Good morning to you. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm gonna try one more. We're probably gonna get to standard a little early today. And like, again, it is probably worth noting that, like, if there had been a liquid metal coating in this sideboard, I definitely would have won that second game there, because I would have just destroyed their lands every turn. Remove the gag from your mouth, lucky plebs. They played a Karn of their own and attacked my Karn with a star. Yeah, and, like, those people are just, like, much better at Magic than a lot of the people they're playing against. So, like, that skews the percentages. Like, as someone who top-8'd a lot of tournaments with Kiki Cord, like, playing good Magic with the deck people don't really understand how to play against gets you a lot of win percentages. And, like, there's also like a sheer force of numbers too. Like, if you always play a deck and you show up to every tournament, like, you're bound to eventually some noodles stick to the wall. Correct. Yeah, it's like saying Deceive does well with blue-white control. Every time I show up to a... Hey, thanks for the 5 months, Williams. Every time I show up to a paper Magic tournament, I realize why blue-white control posts top 8s. Because, like, the last 2 or 3 Modern tournaments I've gone to, like, 10+% of the room when I've walked around has been blue-white control. And it's just like, oh, this deck just, like, top 8s events through sheer force of, like, people loving to register Cryptic Command. Like, just has nothing to do with the power level of the deck. Alright, we get a do-over against Tron. What exactly was the thing people didn't know when playing against Kiki Cord? What did they do wrong? Well, there were two things people frequently did wrong against Kiki Cord. The first was that they just weren't familiar with the variety of creatures that... The first was that there were just a variety of creatures in the Kiki deck that people weren't familiar with, that they needed to be playing around at instant speed in situations where represented Court of Calling. The second is that a lot of Magic players don't handle big board states well, and they kind of, like, shut down when they get a really complicated board state in front of them, and Kiki Cord was a mid-range deck that gummed up the board really well, which meant that if you were playing against someone who shut down when you were playing against a big board state, which is a lot of Magic players, you frequently just, like, got them to start making mistakes because they were shutting down against a big board. There is a rough draft preview of the Aristocrat sideboard guide that's been posted in the subscriber Discord. I'm not 100% certain when it's going to publish live with editing and proper formatting. I sent it into my editor last night. I'm not sure. It hasn't gotten back to me yet because it was late when I sent it in. I mean, Grishelbrand's top 8 at a Grand Prix before. Pengu Power, thanks for the 38 months. Welcome back. Like, do I just get Lattice here again? Yeah, right? Like, liquid metal coating would just be like what I want to get. Liquid metal coating is like the only card you want against Tron. Hey, Wicked. Thanks for sticking on with the tier 1 sub. This at least shuts off this talisman, which is nice. Field of Runes, sure. Their sequencing here is really suspect. They gave me... I wish I had something to do with the mana, because they gave me an extra mana here, technically, with their sequencing. I don't have anything useful to go get out of my sideboard, though, either. Like, I have this card that's supposed to be this toolbox, that just, like, doesn't get anything useful, the way this sideboard's constructed. Yeah, I just like go get Crucible, I guess. I guess getting Crucible gives me a bounce land in the tank, right? Since they decided to kill it. But like again, like still just like sitting here spinning my tires, not really accomplishing anything. And the only reason I'm in this game is because I'm playing against another modern deck that like similarly doesn't do a whole lot frequently. I recently retired from the Air Force, and I kept your channel on during the job hunt. I finally have an in-person interview on Friday. Thanks for keeping me entertained. I wish me luck. Good luck, Wicked. Yeah, the problem is their deck tends to play a lot of basics in my experience. Well, I can cast Lattice next turn, I guess. I can cast Titan next turn too. They have blue mana up. Nope, your map doesn't work. This card's got text. Thirst for Knowledge works. That one'll work. That'll do, Pig. That'll play. That one will play. Oh, discarded a Sundering Titan. Yep. Not so hot here against my one basic deck. Especially when they don't have Tron at the moment. The command isn't supposed to have a cooldown. I'm gonna go complain about that again. Oh, they hit Tron. Am I dead? Yeah, that's true, Pokemon Nerd. They don't currently have a payoff, so I've got that going for me. Sure. Well, I mean, if they don't have a counterspell, we get to Lattice them next turn. Oh, plussing kills the Chalice. Good call. We can do that next turn. Hey, Hippo. Thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Alright, so Ballista's going to come down as a 3-3 here. It's going to come down as a 4-4. Wurmcoil, yep. I guess I can go get a Wurmcoil of my own. Yeah, the converted mana cost of a Chalice in play is always 0. Yeah, thanks. X, that is correct, Jace. Anywhere other than the stack, X and a converted mana cost is 0. While a spell is on the stack, the X that's currently been paid for that spell is its converted mana cost. But in play, X is always 0. So like Hydrate Krasis on the board dies to Ritual of Soot, regardless of how many counters it has on it. This is a converted mana cost of 2. Trade these off. Karn will go to 1. That's a Eugene. Yeah, his minus isn't good on this board, at least. We've got that going for us. Because they can still attack, Greg. If I cast Lattice last turn, they attack my Karn, and then the Lattice doesn't do anything. One target non-creature. No, this can't target the tokens that are already creatures. Hey, Johnny boy. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Not seeing any green-red circle in the queue, so we go ahead and fix that. Yeah, 10 out of 10. That one's sweet. So, like, what do I guess I can Karn, downtick, get Pithing Needle. Yeah, I'm a ways off at 10 mana. I can Azusa, Karn, downtick, Pithing Needle. So I think that's the line. This is assuming they don't have a counterspell. Okay, it looks like they don't. That's good for me. And I realize Ugin can't sweep the board, but preventing Ugin from plussing to kill my Karn is important here. Yeah, preventing the Ugin from ulting too is also important. What an incredibly easy to parse game state. Yeah, Crucible with Boros Garrison gets me enough mana to do stuff next turn. Well, I don't really need 10, right? If I just get to untap with Karn, the Mycosynth Lattice gets to get into play, which is nice. I wonder if they have a Pact of Negation here, thinking about this Tolaria West. Another Chalice, sure. Yeah, where's my advantage bar? Are they going to play Chalice for 6 here? I think we're about to see a Chalice for 6. Yeah, the tick. Karn plus ticks up to kill Chalice, so we got that covered. Alright, I think we're gonna get out of this one. The fact that I didn't do this earlier on their 0-1 might have actually helped us win this game here. Because it might have made my opponent not realize what I could do. I should definitely Crucible first, right? So I have a Boros Garrison, so that's pretty free. None of it matters anymore, right? These cards look really sweet as colorless artifacts. Yeah, I believe my opponent's locked out now, right? I believe they're locked out. I just pass. Yeah, they could attack with these things they have in play, but I have enough blockers that doesn't matter at this point. Stirring plus Lattice does mean you can get anything. So, the combo here, for people not familiar, this is a newish combo. So, Mycosynth Lattice makes everything else a colorless artifact. And then Karn says my opponent's artifacts can't activate their abilities. So, basically, Karn plus Mycosynth Lattice makes all my opponent's lands no longer work. It makes their planeswalkers no longer work. Basically, the only thing they can do is attack with creatures they already have in play, because they can't take any other game actions because they're otherwise locked out. And bring in Negates and Rec Sage and trim Bojuka Bog and the relics. This seems fine. That's true. They can cast 0 mana spells, technically. I have an Engineered Explosives in my deck, punishing waterfalls. I have one in the main and 2 in the board. That seems fine. It's not particularly fast, but like my opponent's deck's not particularly fast. I've like turn 1 Tribe Scout and plenty of mana for my Titan later. Rex Sage is like technically a form of interaction. So, best draw on the deck, not close. This is turn 3 Titan now. Can I play Titan this turn with the Azusa? I can't, right? Azusa's only +1 mana, right? So this makes 4, and this makes a 5th mana. Because Azusa costs 3, but gives you 2 land drops, and every land drop is 2 mana with this and this. So I can cast Azusa this turn, but she doesn't let me cast Titan this turn. Wow, they have a counterspell, and they're countering the Azusa instead of the Amulet. Seems good for me. No, I just assumed if they were going to condescend, they would have condescended my Amulet. And, like, I'd much rather this Azusa get condescended than, like, my Titan next turn, right? I'm not sure what's happened with Twitch. And sub-tracking, I canceled my Prime to upgrade to Tier 3 last week. Twitch tells me my next sub-month mark is in a couple of weeks in the future, if that. Yeah, basically, when Twitch... The TLDR... The TLDR is that the day when you resub and your sub anniversary are disconnected at this point. Which is really awkward for people like me that are trying to, like, give out rewards based on doing higher tier subs. Sure, Greg. I agree with you. I just think they should have taken the risk because it would have paid off. Vesuva enters play tapped, Greg. I think I'm just supposed to jam another Titan here. In Full Metal, to answer your question, I'll get the Mardu deck bumped. It looks like Clicking on your name does say tier 3. So it looks like it should be through. Mardu Path. That should bump Mardu Path into tomorrow, I believe. Alright, well that just worked. God bless. So we'll get Tolaria West and Simic Growth Chamber here, which lets me transmute this Tolaria West next turn, and also conveniently hold up Negate in the meantime, which is nice. Hey, Brandy Savage, thanks for the 8-month resub. I appreciate the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. It's only 2 points behind Diviner. I only reshuffle my current day's schedule Gorks for $50+ donations, so Warriors will be up tomorrow. I just don't like people nickel and diming each other. Sounds good, Full Metal. Demox, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Walking Ballista. That doesn't really matter, right? Especially because I have this this Rec Sage. For people asking about the Rot Farm, I'd assume it's just because there's Dismembers in the sideboard and they wanted an extra black land that's also another... Like, in general, just generic green bounce lands are what you're looking for past Simic Growth Chamber. So, like, this is a bounce land that does that. Alright, we managed to beat Bluetron, so all hope is not lost. Gimpy, thanks for the 10-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, I'm going to play the last one to finish things out. Will I start a pay-to-play me in games? I don't think so, Savage. I think as long as my deck queue stays full, I don't think I plan to expand into other monetization avenues. Maybe if at some point in the future the deck queue like runs out, we'll take a look at other avenues of doing things. Christy did pick these out. The company that makes these had a variety of frames, and I didn't really care, so I sent Christy the webpage and she picked. What's the donation amount to be the first? If you want to cut in a deck that is not already in the queue, it is a $100 donation to get it into today. If you want to bump a deck that's lower in the queue in today, is a $50 donation. If you want to get your deck played tomorrow, it is much less than that, generally speaking. So again, it is a large donation price to cut your deck in immediately in today to discourage people from frequently doing that, because it is marginally disruptive to the stream. Let's make a command for that. There we go. Let's add a command. All right, what am I doing here? I think I'm just passing, huh? We're dying to elves again here is what's happening. Next turn I have lots of mana, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do anything meaningful with all that mana. I guess I get to Titan them next turn, right? Hopefully they're dead double Amulet Titan. No, the Chewy stuff just rolled out today. So if you are someone with animals at home that gets pet supplies on the regular, be sure to check them out. We'll have them included in the full rotation of plugs later as we work, obviously. I mean, is Karn fetch EE that good? It's gonna kill my Tribe Scout and my Amulet of Vigor. I guess it depends on if they play things that cost more than one. Like, it looks like they're gonna have a collected company here, right? I assume Chewy's prices are very competitive because my mother is a very, let's say, thrifty individual and she uses them, so. She is. My parents have a whole herd of animals. They have 2 dogs and 5 cats at the moment. And Chewy offers getting set up for recurring, like you can set up an order and then like have them ship it to you every week, every 2 weeks, every month, etc. Thrifty is a very generous way of saying cheap. Should start calling my grandma that to sound more flattering. Yeah, exactly. It's like calling slow players deliberate, right? Thrifty is like the jargon neutral way to say it. Hey, Icy Wind Elf, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I did not, Chewy. Lou Mason, thanks for the 10 months of support. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I get to attack with 2 Titans this turn, right? So this Titan gets, and actually I already have the Tolaria West in my hand, so this Titan can actually just get double bounce land. In order to get the discount with my affiliate, you have to use my link on their website, so to stick. And again, it's only for people placing new auto ship orders. Yeah, I guess I technically should make sure I have enough to pay for. I could probably just kill them this turn, though, right? I guess it depends on what comes out of their collected company. But they should be dying. Because I get to attack with Boros Garrison, Slayers Stronghold. And like I'm attacking with both of these. People who are worried about next turn, this is modern and this is my nut draw, so hopefully there's just not going to be a next turn. Because I'm giving both of these double strike, right? I'm getting Vesuva and Sunhome. Oh, I needed to get this second, right? Oh, that's a mistake. I needed to get this second. Because I won't have enough mana floating. I won't have enough mana floating to do this twice right now. Because this costs 4 to activate. So they might still die here, but if they put enough blocking into play now, they're not going to die. So yeah, I guess let's grab some green lands here. So if I would have gotten these 2 lands first, I could have given both of them double strike, which means I'd be attacking for 32 here. But I didn't, so they're going to get another turn. I think we should still be okay. And for those that are new to Magic or Modern, this is turn 3, by the way. This is my 3rd turn. So now they're going to cast Collected Company and hope to hit a Lord. And again, if I would have sequenced my lands correctly with the Titan that I was doing, this would also have double strike, which would mean even if they got double Lord, I think I'd still kill them. It'd be 12... No, I wouldn't kill them through double Lord, but I'd kill them through single Lord. And now if they find 1 Elf Lord here, they're not dead. So if they find, they didn't find a Lord. Okay, so it wasn't punished for my sequencing mistake. Chalky, that's exactly what I did. So I don't really need your tip. Not to be slightly rude. If you watch, that's exactly what I did. I know how this works. I've played a lot of Magic Online. I think I'm just going to cut all the Karns in this matchup. The things that Karn finds are kind of slow when Karn finds them. I think I'd rather just have like the Engineered Explosives and the Walking Ballista in my deck. Dismember also interacts with them a little bit. What a weird Modern League, by the way. We conceded match 1 to Mill, and then we played Tron twice and Elves twice. I'm glad to see the word of our Lord Elves translating. Elves is gonna be sweet with a green-black Horizon Canopy land and the new Ophi out of the sideboard. The last turn took 6 minutes. Yep. Alright, this hand's great. Got a little bit of interaction, a little bit of ramp, an amulet, just like everything you're looking to get. Got a Titan in the form of Summoner's Pact. Maybe I'm supposed to keep that other pack that was on top of my deck, just because that could turn into a Rec Sage and they have a Damping Spear. I mean, Elves is getting a couple of good new tools. Both the Ophi and the new land are like solid upgrades. Mill is good against Tron and it's good against Amulet Titan. In general, it's not particularly great though. If you're interested in seeing Mill played, there is a Sultai Mill deck on my website that we've played a good bit of on this stream before. So you can check that out for a variety of gameplay experiences. Does Llanowar Tribe look at all playable to you? No? That's the one that makes 3 mana, right? Yeah, that card's terrible. Read Elvish Archdruid. And then consider that that's the line for playable. Do I want to dismember Llanowar Elves? Probably not. And like, again, now my opponent had a single piece of disruption, and suddenly my hand that was, like, relatively fast is now, like, not doing anything. I'm certain Llanowar Tribe looks good for Commander. This is the Commander Master set. Hey, Damping Sphere, yay! Alright, so we're dead. So, Damping Sphere is a standard legal card, but this is a card that was definitely printed with Modern in mind. My Simic Growth Chambers now only make colorless mana, which means I can't even utilize this Engineered Explosives I just drew because I don't have 2 different colors of mana. Finale of Devastation is slow and clunky and does not fix any problems that Elves in Modern has. Elves in Modern is a really efficient, a fast, aggressive deck. It is not a deck that's looking to toolbox. You just want to flood the board with 1/1s that make mana and then make them bigger with a Lord attack. Which, that's another deck. If you're looking to learn about Elves, Elves is one of my favorite decks in Modern, bar none. You can find a ton of videos of that on my website and my YouTube channel. I can't even pack for Rex Sage next turn because Damping Sphere makes my spells cost 1 more mana. So, my Rex Sage would cost me 4 after I Summoner's Pact for it. And I have to pick this land up here. Yeah, we're just dead. We're just dead. Came for the Modern, and I stayed for Arena. Keep up the great work. Well, thanks for the 4 months, Jack Oz. I appreciate that. Welcome. No, Legacy Elves is not particularly good. Generally speaking, decks in Legacy that are good fall into one of 2 categories. They're either a Brainstorm Ponder Force of Will deck, or they're a deck that that plays Ancient Tomb and Chalice of the Void. And Elves, unfortunately, does neither of those things. Which is sad, because Legacy Elves was actually the first Legacy deck I ever owned in paper. I love that as an archetype. It's just not competitive. It's much worse than the good Legacy decks that exist in the format. Is Legacy Merfolk good? Does Legacy Merfolk play Ponder, Brainstorm, Force of Will, or Ancient Tomb plus Chalice? Did I not put Rex Sage in my deck? I forgot to board in the Rex Sage. Whatever, it wouldn't have won us the last game anyways. I don't know, Frags Marty. That's my question. So, these are a sponsored product. I did not pay for these. I'm not giving out the brand until I know that they're good, and if they are good, I'll have an affiliate link and stuff for them. But I test drive a lot of the products before I take them on as sponsors. I think this hand's a keep. No, it doesn't have a bounce land. It doesn't have an amulet. I guess it's a mulligan. So many of the hands in this deck just like don't do anything. This hand just needs a bounce land. So I previously had been using a blue light filtering software similar to Flux but for Linux, and I have disabled that and I'm using the glasses here. So after a week or so, I should have a good experience for whether or not these have a meaningful difference. Azindov! Thank you for the 25 months of support. I'm glad you're all right. Hope insurance isn't too much of a mess to wrangle out. Sometimes it is. I'm gonna get punished this game for not having Rec Sage in my deck, aren't I? Hey, what's going on, Project Swamp? Thanks for the 17 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. So again, even if I had Rec Sage in, which I should, I wouldn't have been able to play it this turn because the Rec Sage would cost 4. I agree with the people saying sliver prices are likely related to EDH because, again, this set is EDH Horizons. It's not Modern Horizons. Ramp deck gonna have ramp deck problems. Oh, look at that. Are we dead? We're basically dead. Quintez, thank you for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I don't think I'm going to take this deck again for a while. I was really high on this deck at one point in my modern playing, and just the more I play this deck, the less interested in it I've become. It's one of those decks where it feels like it has too many lands and not enough lands in it simultaneously. While this deck has really good busted draws when it hits like Amulet of Vigor or multiple Amulet of Vigors, you just don't hit your 4 of all that often. And a lot of the times the average goldfish with this deck is not particularly fast. And the amount of interaction that this deck has for when it's not having a fast goldfish does not feel efficient. I know we had a medium run today. I do think Karn the Great Creator probably solves some of the issues this deck has with threat density at least, but he doesn't address how fast your draw is. So I think Karn the Great Creator helps balance out some of those ramp deck style problems I like to refer to, of like not having enough action or not having something to do when you don't quite have enough mana. We almost certainly would have beaten one of the Tron decks that we played against if I would have had liquid metal coating in my deck, in my sideboard to get. So I think playing this card and not having access to a liquid metal coating is a mistake, because liquid metal coating lets you kill your opponent's lands. But with Karn, without Karn, this deck does just feel like it's not fast enough or interactive enough from my experience playing it. And again, I'm certain there's going to be people who love Amulet Titan that get really upset and leave me mean comments on this video, because that's what people do when they're heavily invested in modern decks. But this one just really doesn't do it for me. So maybe we'll try it again in a few months, but for the next, I don't know, at least month or so, I'm gonna reject this archetype from now on. Just been really disappointing. Can we have another sub goal? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know that I really have anything that I want to push for in particular at the moment. So, judging cards that are now legal in Modern is super easy. You just have to ask yourself 2 questions. Is it brutal? Is it super efficient? If the answer to either of those questions is no, it's probably not good enough. Slow, clunky cards that generate value often not good in Modern, is what it comes down to. And that's exactly what that is. Now maybe alongside this Archmage's Charm, this card could be good. I'm fairly certain that we're gonna play some Grixis decks on stream with Archmage's Charm. I'm gonna accept some clunky fair Modern decks because I do want to play with Archmage's Charm, but I would be surprised if they're good. Open my back door to get some air circulation into my room. Yeah, Horizons will not be available on Arena. It'll be available on Magic Online. We are loading up the party bus. All aboard. Hey, Spherical Man, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. My editor is great, and he just sent me a message back telling me that my Black Red Aristocrats article will be published tomorrow on Cool Stuff Inc., for those that are waiting for that. Nice Mace Stun Bro. Thanks for the 5 months. Hope you're having a fantastic middle of your week.